as it has fallen to previous generations of Labour Party pioneers. Never to shrug our shoulders at injustice, to come together, to join together, to work together. One nation, a country for all.
Ed Miliband has called for the breakup of Rupert Murdoch's UK media empire.
You're going to declare an intent to stand up. You're going to be attacked by powerful people who oppose change.
Our integrated plan of physical health, mental health and care for the elderly. 3,000 more midwives, 5,000 more care workers,
8,000 more GPs and 20,000 more nurses. And NHS with time to care.
Need a reckoning with our banks. Not for retribution, but for reform, to tackle the cost of living crisis in this country.
When most people think it can't be changed or it just isn't going to happen, he never ever gives up.
Friends, let's fight for a fairer, more just, more equal Britain. That's what I'm going to do. That's what you do day in, day out. That's what every person in this party must do. That's the way we're going to win this fight. That's the way we're going to win this general election.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the leader of the Labour Party and the next Prime Minister, Ed Miliband.
Until we sweep away this rotten government and elect Today we set out how we can replace a failing, tired government for the few with a government that is truly for all the working people of Britain. And I want to tell you today the different way our country will be run by our party. Because the choice of this election is not simply between parties and leaders, but different visions of our country. Different visions of how we succeed. Different visions of how we live together. Different visions of the kind of country we can be. We say that a country where only the rich and powerful are better off is a country that is failing. We say Britain only succeeds when working people succeed. We say
it's not getting the causes right.
So what kind of country do I want us to build together? Let me spell it out to you today. We will never put up with a country where people find themselves working all the hours that God sends and still can't afford to pay the bills. The Britain I believe in is one where hard work is rewarded, whoever you are, whatever job you do. Built on insecurity, where the text message at 6 a.m. is when you find out whether you have work that day. Because the Britain I believe in is one where security for working people is the bedrock of a successful economy and a decent society. Not fit for the young, built on rising debt and falling opportunity. Because the Britain I believe in is one where we restore the promise of Britain and the next generation does better than the last. Where public services disintegrate on a failed ideology that says we should cut government back to the bone. Because the Britain I believe in, the Britain we believe in, has decent public services as the rock on which we all stand. Where we cut ourselves off from the rest of the world. Because the Britain I believe in, the Britain we believe in, is outward-looking, engaged in Europe, and doing our duty to the world. Where power is hoarded in Westminster, with people deprived of the chance to shape their own lives. Because the Britain I believe in is one where we seek power in order to give it away to people and to communities. And most of all, the most fundamental truth of all, the truth that made me join this party, the truth that made me stand to be leader of this party. We will never put up with a country founded on rising inequality, the richest pulling away and working people worse off year after year. Because the Britain I believe in, the Britain we believe in, is one where we prosper together and unlock together. And so I believe it is only by working people succeeding that Britain can succeed. And I want to explain to you today what that means. Because you know, it's an idea that goes to the heart of the country I want to build. We're different from the Tories. But not just because we offer different management, or because we offer different faces, but because we believe something different. We have a different set of values. What does it mean to be Labour? It means, above all, that we believe our fates are intertwined as a nation. That the success of each of us is built, the success of all of us is built on the success of each of us. And this is so far from where we are as a country right now. A low wage, low skill economy means there are so many families who work hard but can't make ends meet. Now, of course, that's bad for them. But it's not just bad for them. It means we're all spending more, subsidising low pay. It means we're less productive as a nation, and all of us lose out. So turning that around isn't just right for those workers, it's right for all of us. Exactly in the same way, young people being left without opportunity. Obviously, it's a tragedy for them. I'll tell you something else. It's a disaster for our country. But you think of the engineers not trained. Think of the entrepreneurs not nurtured. Think of the nurses and teachers not there to heal the sick and teach our kids. We have to turn this round and give opportunity to all of our young people. It's right for them and it's right for all of us. When small and medium-sized businesses are stifled by banks that don't serve them and business rates that hold them back, it doesn't just harm those businesses. It harms us all. We have to turn that around and give the best chance to all our businesses. It's right for them and it's right for all of us. So judge the success of Britain by the success of working people. It's that we understand that it's only by working people succeeding that we can succeed as a country. A plan for working families is not just a plan to make us more fair. It is a plan to make us more prosperous too. And this idea is embodied in each of our pledges, written through each like a stick of rock, on the deficit, on living standards, on the NHS, on immigration, on the future of our young people. It starts with the economy. Our first pledge is to build a strong economic foundation. We will cut the deficit every year, balancing the books as soon as possible in the next Parliament. And an insight at the heart of our plan is that we can't succeed in cutting the deficit if working people don't succeed. And if you want to know the evidence, just look at the last 5 years. That is the lesson. That is the lesson of the Tories. That is the lesson of a government that has broken its promises on the deficit. Yeah, they've made the cut, but they haven't cut the deficit as they promised. And why? Because an economy with falling living standards, people working harder for longer for less, is an economy where the tax revenue isn't coming in and the deficit isn't going away. That's why our deficit plan is built on the foundation of an economy that works for working people. We will make common sense spending reduction, with departmental budgets falling outside protection areas. But we will protect key areas like education and health. And we will do something the Tories would never do. We will have tax changes based on the principle that those with the broadest shoulders should bear the greatest burden. So we will reverse David Cameron's millionaires tax cut, because this party will never let working people pay the price of hard times. Our second pledge is higher living standards for working families. And my government, there is no more important test for whether our country works for working people than the living standards of working people. Now, our economy is at last growing again. But we know something that these Tories don't seem to get. The vital link between the wealth of our nation as a whole and working people has been broken. For me, for us, that is the test of economic success. Now, this government really thinks that economic growth is actually generated somewhere else. They think it's generated at the top. And all we have to do is just wait for it to trickle down to everyday families. Well, we've got a different view. And that's why we'll write the next chapter in the fight to abolish poverty pay in our country. By just 70 pence in the last 5 years. With the Labour government, it will increase by at least twice as much to over £8 an hour. About security and the importance of security, we'll do something else. We'll put an end to the exploitation of 0 hours contracts. If you work regular hours, you get a regular contract. That is we'll help mums and dads balance work and family life too, with 25 hours free childcare for 3 and 4-year-olds. And we'll also stand up for the vested interests, including the big energy companies. You know, the costs of energy have come tumbling down by 20% over the last year because of of what's happened to the price of oil globally. But think about your bills. The sky here has not come down by 20%.
No.
The sky-high prices that families pay have only fallen a fraction of that. Now, what better evidence do we need of the chronic overcharging, the broken market, and the rip-off being faced by millions of families? Now, of course, things won't happen. But even David Cameron and George Osborne admit there is a problem. But they won't act, and the whole country knows it. And why? It's because they will never stand up for the powerful interests. And they will never stand up for you. That's why we need a Labour government. We will go ahead with our price freeze. The prices can only fall and cannot rise. But we'll do something else. We'll reset the broken energy market, and we'll go still further. We'll pass a law giving the regulator a legal duty to ensure fair prices. We will pass a law to ensure that falling costs are passed on to the consumer in lower energy prices. Our third pledge is focused on what I think is the bedrock of security for working families. And that's our national answer. Think about our last election. We all remember the promises, don't we? The promises David Cameron made on the National Health Service. Remember the airbrush posters? Remember the promise of no top-down reorganisation? Remember the times we said no going back to the days where you have to wait hours on end in A&E? Promises made. Promises broken. We will hold him to account for his broken promises. Which is to rescue the NHS from this government, and we will. 20,000 more nurses, 8,000 more doctors, 5,000 more care workers, and 3,000 more midwives, paid for by a mansion tax on properties worth over £2 million to support our time to care fund, and by doing something else, closing tax loopholes, exploited by the...
They have to do something about that. And that's to put 40 billion a year into the economy. They just shut them down.
That those who look after us, our brilliant workers in the NHS, have time to care and aren't rushed off their feet. And we'll make sure people can see a GP within 48 hours. That cancer test results come back within a week. And we will build a world-leading physical health, mental health, and social care service, joining up services from home to hospital. The creation of the NHS is the proudest achievement of this party. The rescue of the NHS will be the proudest achievement of the next Labour government. Now, our legislation is the interest of working people, which is why we need control on immigration. Rules in place so that entitlements are earned and wages are not undercut. People will have to wait at least 2 years until they can claim benefits. Animal call time on employers who don't pay the minimum wage. Gang masters that exploit migrant labour. Recruitment agencies that only advertise abroad. With a Labour government, no dodgy firm, no shady loopholes, no sharp practices will be allowed to exploit migrant labour and undercut the wages and conditions of working people in this country.
That's the way to tackle the immigration issue, isn't it?
The next Labour government all put in place the right rules on immigration. But I'll tell you something else. This Labour Party, the next Labour government, will never cut ourselves off from the rest of the world. And we will never, ever sacrifice our tolerance, our openness, who we are as a country, what makes Britain great. To be a country where the next generation does better than the last. You know, I think you judge the dignity of a country by how it treats the old. And you judge the future of a country by how it treats the young. At every stage of life, we will improve chances for the young. Smaller class sizes for 5, 6 and 7-year-olds. An apprenticeship for every school leaver who gets the grades. And tuition fees reduced to £6,000. Investing in our future. Investing in and restoring the promise of Britain. This is our plan. 5 years of a Labour government, we will have balanced the book. 5 years of a Labour government, we will have raised living standards for working families. 5 years of a Labour government, we will have rescued the NHS and given it time to care. 5 years of a Labour government, we will have built an immigration system with the right controls. 5 years of a Labour government, we will have restored the hope of the next generation. 5 years of a Labour government, we will have built a country fit for the hopes and aspirations of the working people of Britain. But friends, I think you know this is not the only future on offer in 54 days' time. I think it's time to talk about that other future. A Tory future. Now, I think we've tried their experiment for the last 5 years. We've tried their experiment on the British people, and it's failed. Working people, £1,600 a year worth off. The first government since the 1920s to leave people worse off at the end of 5 years than they were at the start. And the really scary thing, they call that a success. So just imagine what the future looks like under them. They won't deal with the problem of low pay, you see, because they think that low pay is the way we compete in the world. They won't deal with 0-hour contracts because they think insecurity for working people is necessary for Britain's success. They'll carry on making young people pay the burden of hard times because they say there's no alternative. And what about our public services? They will strip public services back to the very bone. You know, their current plan is to cut public spending back to the levels of the 1930s before there was an NHS. Now this week, the budget's coming up, and no doubt they'll have some window dressing on it. But we don't want that. It means education cut, the NHS undermined. It means social care devastated, our infrastructure crumbling. Working families can't afford to take that risk. Britain can't afford to take that risk. This is not the future that our great country deserves. They deserve leadership that will stand up for them. I don't know if you've noticed, but the Tories say they want an election about leadership. It'll be my guess. Because Britain does face a choice about the type of leadership it wants. You see, and then cut taxes for millionaires, and impose the cruel, vindictive, unfair federal tax on some It's about standing up for those ideas through thick and thin, even in the face of powerful forces. And it's about standing up for people from every background and every walk of life. Not just with those with the wealth, not just with those who have the access, not just those who have the power. That's what leadership is. That's the leadership I will bring. That's the Prime Minister I will be for this country. What I will be guided by every day is the idea that whenever we have prospered, whenever we have succeeded as a country, it's not because we've been driven by the success of a few at the top, but by the success of working families. That's how Britain succeeded. It's when we've raised our sights as a country, when many said we couldn't do better. It's when we set our ambition high for the people of Britain, when many said it couldn't be done. It's when we said Britain can do better than this, when some people said this is as good as it gets. That is the choice of this election. The pessimists or the optimists, fear or hope, the few or the many, a failing Tory plan or a better plan for working families. Britain can do better than this. And today I urge the people of Britain to choose optimism, to choose a country for the many, to choose our plan for working families, to decide to hope, to recognise that if we're true to the idea that when working people succeed, Britain succeeds, nothing can stop us as a country. Nothing can stop us when we put working people first. Nothing can hold Britain back in the future. Britain can do better than this. Let's seize the chance to change. Let's seize the chance to build a better future for all of the people of Britain. Thank you very much.